Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to TheftMart. My name is Marshall. I'm here with Emoney and our very special guest, Berg. Gentlemen, how are you today?
What's up?
Man, that was so good.
Thank
that was
you,
such a good intro.
It was, right?
One shot
You gotta
all the way
respect
through.
that.
Isn't that amazing?
It's amazing. Hey, I just want to let you know, I know this is not a very good way to start off the segment, but I did you all a favor because the 5 seconds of silence, I had to fart really bad, but I held it.
That would have been fantastic.
Right, I held it.
Just rip it.
Yeah.
Out of respect, I just held it.
You know, that's not really how I want to introduce myself, you know.
As the sound engineer, I wonder what the noise profile to that would be. How would that change our voices after based off your fart?
Well, maybe one day we'll try it out.
Yeah.
We're going to edit that out. Yeah, we're going to edit that. Yeah, that's going to be real nice. We're going to have to edit that. Yeah.
But yesterday we went through and we had the perfect podcast. It was amazing. There's fireworks. Trump showed up, shook everybody's hand.
They're building the wall.
Yeah, everybody was just having a great time, and then our laptop crapped out on us.
You son of a bitch.
But we have special guest Berg, who
That damn German technology.
It's an honor for you to be here, my friend.
Oh,
thank you for coming out.
Well, guys,
The second time.
Yeah, listen, I had so much fun the first time I sabotaged the laptop so we can do it again.
Oh.
Not the fuck come out again.
Right.
So very interesting guy. You've lived a lot of different places. You've worked retail. You've had some loss prevention experience in retail. And then one of the things I find most interesting that, we've talked about is the groundskeeper for a county park where you got to patrol, kick out homeless people and stuff.
That sounds so shitty. That's all I did. I just fucking gave homeless people a really hard time because life wasn't pissing them off.
Get your
already.
fucking shopping cart out of the park.
Professional homeless person tosser.
As long as we don't see this fucking asshole again, we're gonna be all right tonight. And then Berg shows up.
So in the town that I live in the county that I live in, we have 3 parks that really run like state parks. So you can camp and fish and all that stuff. And so for a little over 2 years, I was a caretaker, groundskeeper. Basically, I was shit security. I was their version of security.
Of course, we talked to you. You didn't get no weapons, no batons,
no
knives, no nothing to protect yourself from these homeless people.
Man, I wish. No. All I had was my sharp wit, my words, and
Don't fuck with me.
Right.
He MacGyvered the fuck out of some homeless people.
You could be interested with a couple leaves and a fucking stick. What I could do.
Right. Yeah. That's that's really all I had. Oh, I had a walkie-talkie too. Listen, I can't tell you how official you look when you have a walkie-talkie. I mean, it just really fucking sets the mood for these homeless folk. So,
you walk up, got the walkie,
you're like, breaker. Like, oh shit, that guy's got a walkie-talkie. We're fucked. Okay, let's pack it up.
It's funny you say that because when Emoney and I worked together as asset protection stuff, we never had badges. But then we got them, and then there was like this whole change of authority. People reacted completely different.
Totally different.
So I'm sure, the
like
walkie-talkie.
Better or worse?
Better.
Oh, really? Okay.
They respect the badge.
Respect the badge.
Even though you're just a fucking rent-a-cop?
They didn't know.
Oh, okay.
If you flash it fast enough, they can't read what
They
it
have
says.
no idea.
Nice. Very
I think
nice.
there is. I mean, psychologically, we're just taught, like you see the badge, you respect it.
Sure.
Even if it says, Toys R Us on it.
I don't have a regular one, but the other night I flashed my big box badge and then I looked at it like, oh, fuck, I'm going to go. And then I was like, well, let me see that again. So I flashed it again. Oh, fuck, I don't have to stay here. They took off running.
Oh, wow.
Well, that was your fault. You should have never showed them twice. Listen.
I did. That's a mistake we learned.
First rule of fucking fake badges. You just gotta flash it once and that's it.
Show it once, Berg.
And then that's when you have to fall to see, and that's what I had. So I didn't have a gun, I didn't have a knife, no baton, but I had a mean look and I had that authority, that hey,
don't fuck with me.
Don't fuck with me, because I'm not going to really do shit to you,
right?
But I'm going to make you think that I'm going to do shit to you.
So did you ever walk up on a scene and you didn't have anybody on the other end, but you just walked up on the scene? Berg on the scene. Take
Berg on the scene. No, it was weird. I did so many weird things. So, of course we got our drug use.
Nice.
And those were always the sketchiest situations. So those were the times where I really just said, just radio in, like, call the sheriffs. We'll just go ahead and have them come out.
Anything crazy with the drugs?
This one time, I didn't mention this one. So this one time, these I don't know what they were smoking because they were kind of far away. They were about 20, 25 yards away. But the park was getting ready to close. And so when you go to close the park, you basically got to kick everybody out. So I roll up on them and I get out of the truck and I'm like, hey, you guys, the park's closing. And I was nice about it. Park's closing. You guys gotta roll. And the guy yelled something and I didn't hear what he said, but it was dark enough that I could see the glow of whatever he was lighting. And it certainly wasn't a cigarette. Let me just tell you right now. And all of a sudden, he fucking this Rottweiler comes running at me. And listen, I've been chased down by a Rottweiler, and I just I stood my ground, put my left arm out, because I'm like, if he's gonna bite something, I'm gonna give him my left arm. And I just fucking stared that dog down, and he yelled something at the very last minute, and that dog just stopped. And then he rolled up, and I was like, "You guys got to get the fuck out of here." Why? not because I didn't at that point I didn't give a shit about the drugs, because your fucking dog's unleashed,
right? good makeup. Right? I don't give a fuck about the drugs, but you're a fucking dog,
right? And so the guy was, he was pissy and whatnot. But yeah, I saw people shoot up, people smoking meth. We have an area that visitors come to see specifically. I won't mention what it is because then you could find out where it's at. But I used to bust people out there all the time that, for whatever reason, they thought it was cool
to do it right there at the monument or whatever it is. Yeah.
And it's just like, there are probably better places to fucking get high on heroin and meth than fucking...
Could you imagine that night? Like, we're going there and we're getting fucked up.
Right. It would be like...
National Monument.
Yeah. It'd be like going to the fucking Lincoln Memorial and being like, dude, this is a really fucking good time to smoke up some meth. Yeah, let's
Nod
do
off
it.
in Lincoln's lap.
Right. It's like, what the fuck, man?
Fuck slavery.
Yeah, fuck slavery. So there was that. A lot of homelessness, as we mentioned earlier. My favorite was, this is the best part, and this is how I know we live in a very unique country, because homelessness is obviously no laughing matter. And in the summertime, people would camp instead of going to shelters, and that was fine. They were totally cool.
Right.
But where we had issues was when, like, I think about this one example specifically. So this woman was homeless. It was obvious that she was homeless. She's got basically everything in her car, and she rolls up. She sets up a tent in a electric site, which we really kind of frowned upon. But okay, that's fine.
The space is kept for.
Right. And then this fucking bitch sets up an air conditioner, and then in a tent and lays out all of her shit. And I'm like, so we go over there and we go, hey, you can't do that. You can't have the air conditioner running in the tent, because that was a park rule. And then also, you got to clean up your stuff. Well, her response was, you're harassing me, and I'm gonna file a lawsuit. I'm gonna get a lawyer and file a lawsuit. And I'm just going to tell you right now, I'm a self-proclaimed asshole. Like, I know I'm an asshole. I try to keep it under wraps, and I do a pretty good job of it.
I see that written right there in your forehead.
Yeah, it's just right there. Big, he's an asshole. And I thought, my immediate thought was, bitch, you can't even fucking afford a house or gas for your car.
You're going to get a
fucking lawyer. But
you should have just said, I'll take that goddamn air conditioner away from you.
Hey, you keep acting up and I'll take that air conditioner.
That's good for the office.
Yeah. But it was crazy. Basically, I got on her case long enough that she just got pissed off and left her shit there for 7 days. So then we had to wait 7 days, because that was the policy. We waited 7 days and then bagged it up.
Oh man!
And then she knew this, so she waited until the seventh day to
come get it.
Then she came and get it. But by that point, they'd already thrown everything away.
Oh, but did she throw a fit on that because she thought she was going to come get it and then get you guys?
Yeah, but it wasn't me. That was the full-time employees. So yeah, but most of the fun things that I got to experience were busting people having sex. That was always the best.
Fantastic.
What I love about this is this just sounds like the asshole of the planet, this park, but it's, like, we've been there multiple times. Right. It's a beautiful place. But I mean, it's like we've talked about with Emoney before. It's like people would be shocked to know the amount of crime that's going on around them while they're shopping and stuff. This job really opens your eyes to
all different kinds of crimes that take place, and that doesn't matter from theft to drugs to whatever. And so in this environment, I'm pretty sure some shit went down.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what? It really sucked because it really dampened the beauty of the park. I mean, you're out there in nature. I always used to tell people it would be the perfect job if there weren't any people, which isn't that most fucking jobs, you know? Like,
right.
But yeah, it was beautiful, and it wasn't. I mean, listen, I'm not. It wasn't nearly as much as you might think, but it was probably more than you might think too. So it's kind of a weird oxymoron.
Was you ever scarred from these sexual acts that you've seen?
Oh yeah. So I think I mentioned this yesterday. So there's a lot that stand out. Not the windows fogged over, that kind of thing. Because with those people, if I couldn't see anything, what I would do is I'd roll up to the car and I'd be like, "Hey, were you guys the ones that needed the toe out of here?"
That's fantastic. That is an asshole. That's definitely an asshole.
And it's like, so they like roll down. You hear some rustling and movement. The car's moving, and then 20 seconds later, no, that wasn't us. Oh, okay. Are you guys okay? Do you? Because the longer I could prolong it, the less those boners are going down, the less the fucking mood is just fucking
fantastic.
Rolling out. No, so this one time we had sort of like a roundabout, like in the back of the park. So I roll up in the truck and
bad boys.
Yeah, it's fucking.
I've got a walkie-talkie.
Right, I got a walkie-talkie. You better stop. I just went through puberty too while I was there.
That's the whole voice right there.
Yeah. Oh, guys.
Quit your sexing.
Quit. Oh God. So I roll up on this couple. So it's this really nice motorcycle. It wasn't like your midlife crisis, guy at the office, buys a fucking Goldwing. No, this was like a legit Harley. This dude was a biker, old as shit.
Got the chaps, got the Davidson shirt.
The big ass fucking ZZ Top gray beard. And he's just fucking nailing this chick. She's bent over the bike. She's haggard. I'm just gonna say she was.
Is that Merle Haggard?
Yes, absolutely.
Rode hard.
Has not been put up wet yet. Has not been put up yet.
Right, but it didn't stop me from seeing them titties because you gotta
look.
Sure.
You always gotta look.
I didn't care how flappy they were. I was still looking. And he's going and just fucking nailing her. She's moaning, screaming. So I roll down my window and I excuse me.
I got a
walkie-talkie. So I'm like, hey man, you guys gotta stop doing that. And he doesn't even look at me. He doesn't even look at me. He doesn't even stop. That was the really crazy thing.
Still going to Pound Town.
And he's just like, we'll be done in a little bit, man. Just get the fuck out of here. And I'm like, what do you do? So I'm like, oh, okay. So I roll around to the other side and then I'm like, well, shit, I mean, he said he was going to be done in a little bit, right? So then I'm sitting there and I'm kind of like,
waiting.
Do I wait him out? Like, is that a fucking creeper move? Or do I, what do I do? So then, I'm going back and forth on this. And then, by the next thing you know, it's 2 minutes later. I'm like, fuck, now I got to get out of here because now I look like a creeper because I've been sitting here for 2 minutes.
Totally.
So yeah, I just bounced the fuck out and I just let them go.
It's been 3 minutes, all right? You would have got your nut already. Get the hell out. Now you're just taking your time.
Asshole.
Right. I don't know. This dude looked like a legitimate biker, and I'm not familiar with the biker situation. I mean, I've watched Sons of Anarchy, but, I'm from California, so you see bikers there, and you're just like, no, you don't. No, I'm cool. I ain't gonna do shit.
Right.
So, but I don't know what it's like here, so I thought I'd play it safe, but apparently that dude finished and went on his fucking merry way. But
fantastic.
Salute to that man.
So yeah,
no pun intended.
God bless you, sir. Because my thinking is, I don't know if it's just age or just the kind of person he is, or just because I don't know if he's a biker, but the fucking balls to just drop trowel. Yeah, I mean, this dude. I mean, she was fucking topless. Her shirt's pulled down. his pants are pulled down in fucking the middle of nature.
Right.
There's all these trees and fucking birds are singing, and it's just like, whoa. And this dude's fucking banging the shit out of this chick.
It's almost beautiful the way you described it.
Right. It's
nature.
Going on to Pornhub looking for nature fuck.
Nature
fuck.
on Harley.
On
Yeah.
Harley.
I was like,
Pacific information here.
right. Sometimes I think back to that moment, not when I'm jerking off or anything.
Not at all.
Right.
Sure.
But sometimes I think, one day I want to get to the point where I'm just like, you know what, sweetheart, let's just bang
go out
this
to the
out.
woods.
Yeah, let's go out to the woods.
You, my Harley.
Right, and just fucking bang, and whoever catches us, fuck them. I'll just say, hey, I'm gonna finish. Get the fuck out of here.
That's awesome.
I'm just glad he didn't lock eyes with you. I'm
Right.
just about done.
Right. That was the real danger of that situation. What if he had looked in my eyes as he came?
Oh God.
We would have been fucking.
You lost souls. You guys were
Yeah.
soul
Right.
brothers.
It would have been this weird bonding experience that.
Every year he calls you up. It's our anniversary.
Right.
It's our anniversary.
We would have been these
Quit calling here.
weird Eskimo brothers. It'd be like, and then the worst part is then he calls me a week later and he's like, man, I can't get off unless you're looking in my eyes. So the next thing you know, I fucking have to show up every Friday and Saturday night while he's banging her.
You shut down the whole park. It's just a thing
Right.
for you three.
Very intimate details about him. Call him on his birthday. and
Right.
stuff.
I know about his secret tattoo on his hip.
Hey, Chuck.
Yeah, so that was a fun time. Saw a lot of penises, more penises than I'd like to admit.
Do you feel scarred by that a little bit? Just became part of the job.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, I don't know. It was just there. This is completely unrelated, but I said penises and it made me think of this. So
Penis.
there's a connection here, and I promise. So we get this call one day. It was like a Sunday afternoon. We get this call from the DNR, and they say, "Hey, we got a call about snakes." So I'm like, "Okay." And he goes, "Yeah."
My brain goes instantly, this is a joke. Go ahead.
Right. No, this is serious. He goes, "Yeah, this woman said that there's like 2 or 3 boa constrictors in this like little waterfall area." And I'm like, "Oh, okay." So my wife and I, we ride out there, and it was one fucking snake. It was a rat snake who was just chilling on a rock, just hanging out. But the person who called it in left. They just didn't even stick around. And so oddly enough, we spent 45 minutes talking to the DNR guy, and it was just basically 45 minutes of my wife hitting on him. And because the dude was ripped, and he was, he took his job very serious,
Right.
And I just remember the whole time just standing there disappointed that there weren't 3 or 4 snakes just writhing in the water and shit.
Off subject, DNR guys are badass motherfuckers.
I was just thinking that would be great if we could get DNR on this show and just talk to them about their
fuck yeah.
experiences.
Dude, they can take your fucking house.
Yeah.
They can confiscate anything. A couple friends of mine went through the police academy, and the DNR guys are at the top of the list. Every graduation, DNR guys are the top best shooters, best.
I believe
top
it.
of the line.
This dude he was the kind of guy you meet and you go, oh, I want to be like you one day. Like not only is he just cut, but
Go
he's
back
just,
in my mom's vagina and come out of jail.
Right. He's just like, I'm like, wow. Like, he's just telling stories. And of course my wife is just like, oh, hey.
Every Thursday, me and a biker dude are fucking. Right? You're invited.
You're invited. Next thing you know, I got to lock eyes with
But you
him while
have
he's
to
banging
lock
my
eyes.
wife.
So how long did your wife talk about? Oh, I want him to come back out here.
Snakes.
There's another snake.
There's a goddamn another snake out here.
Goddamn snakes are out here.
DNR.
On speed dial 4.
No, he came out one other time. And I don't even think it was animal related. I think it was something. I think it was a trespasser, and he just happened to be in the area because they have. I feel like those guys have way more authority than police officers.
Oh,
They do.
yeah.
Yeah, so he just happened to be driving by when we made a call, or when my wife made a call, and he came over, and that dude was not to be fucked with. So
I think in the hierarchy of things, it goes DNR, state troopers, and then Mounties. No, I kid. That's my joke. That's my joke.
I was like, Mounties in America?
So no, I think like
Holy
regular
crap.
police officers, deputies, then DNR, then state troopers. I think you have more power than
Sure.
Huh. Wow.
I think. I could be wrong.
Yeah.
I've
been
always
known to
heard, the DNR,
Even
they've
better?
they've got superpower compared to your regular beat cop
Gotcha.
or sheriff and stuff. But yeah,
Sure. Well, it shows in their pants and everything. They're
because
superpower.
they're just manly men, you
Right,
know?
they're
That's
just
what they
manly.
deserve.
We got off topic here, but I wanted to ask you, Berg, did you enjoy, you said that you'd had some retail experience with asset protection. Did you enjoy being kind of like in charge that way? Did you kind of get any adrenaline rushes from it? Did you?
Oh, yeah. Oh, fuck yeah. So, I mean, I did get to chase a guy out of the park once.
Right.
That was kind of badass. Only because, and I don't recommend kids do this at home, but I got to chase him in the truck, right? So it's like
Awesome.
this beat up Dodge truck, but I'm fucking racing through the park. And listen, I'm a good driver, right? I grew up in California. I learned how to drive in California. So I'm fast and I'm defensive and I know what the fuck I'm doing.
You'll die out there if you don't know how to drive.
Absolutely. And I was fucking chasing this guy. Now he got away. Fine. Fair enough. But I was cutting through shit that I wasn't supposed to be cutting through. And,
That's awesome.
you know, like, and at the time I'm not even thinking about it, but you know, like as I, you know, get done, go, oh, that was fucking cool, you know? Yeah. But you know, I'll tell you this one time. So it's Sunday night. I know it's a Sunday night because Game of Thrones was about to start. So it was about 9:00 and we get this call from the state that a woman is lost in our woods.
Oh, God.
So I'm like, okay. So I take
They're filming a movie. Go ahead.
right. Yeah. Listen, it gets crazier. So it's dark. It's April, so it's nice out. You know, it's really that nice weather. So I got a hoodie on. I've got basketball shorts and I've got shoes. I've got a fucking radio and a flashlight.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, I got my radio.
We went from master radios.
Yep. So I go out this place and it's about, I don't know, it's about 50. There's a lake on there, but it's about 50 acres of just uncharted. You know, there's no real set trails.
That's a lot of acreage.
Yeah. And so I start running the trail and I'm doing this at night with this fucking shitty ass flashlight and, you know, fucking a quarter of a mile into it, the flashlight goes out. I'm like, oh, fuck. So, and we have this weird relay system where I'm talking to my wife who's, you know, we're talking radio to radio. And then she's on the phone with the state police. And because the woman's on the phone with them.
This was like a missing woman was reported?
Yeah,
wow.
Yeah, so she reported herself missing because she didn't know what the fuck she was at. She had 5 dogs.
Huh.
And I'm running this area at night in a place I'd never even have been in. Didn't know what I was doing. So I ran for fucking hours. And listen, for those of you listening at home, I'm a bigger dude. So running for an hour was just fucking exhausting to say the least. And so within that hour, the county sheriffs brought out a boat. And they start, because she said she was around the shoreline. So essentially what I did was I just started running around the lake.
Right.
Well, my lucky ass, I get halfway through the lake and they fucking find her. So like, oh, okay. So then I have to retrace my steps all the way back.
Were you close or heading in the right direction?
Yeah, I'd gotten pretty fucking close to her. So I get back and, you know, there's police inside, you know, everyone's there. It's a big thing. Sweat my balls off. I fucking got ticks on me and shit. It was fucking miserable. So go to sleep, whatever. The next day, I get a random phone call and it's the woman. And she says, hey, I took out 5 dogs. One of my dogs wouldn't come with me. Can you help me find my missing dog? So I'm like, okay, sure. So I'm like, when do you want to do this? And she said, can we do it this afternoon? I'm like, okay, fine. So I come home from work, change my clothes. We have a little John boat, so I throw it in the back of the truck, take it out to the lake with her, fucking rowing, right?
Oh, God.
It's pouring down rain. I'm rowing, looking for this goddamn dog. And
fucking dog.
Right. And I'm an animal lover, right? You know,
Right.
like I like animals more than people, but I'll tell you right now, at that moment, I was like, fuck that dog. I hope it got eaten by coyotes. And so
we find the carcass and she sees it.
Right, and then she's crying. So I'm rowing, my arms are the arms are tired, and I'm just like, fuck this, we're yelling out this dog's name, and then I just happen to look over and I see this little fucking thing on the worst part of the lake you could possibly go. There was no beach, it was literally just a sheer rock that this dog was just standing on. So
I'm wondering how the fuck it got there.
Yeah, and then I'm fucking wondering how am I going to get it because there's nothing to tie the anchor to. You know, there's nothing. And this woman, listen, she was nice. She's a nice person, but she was completely useless in that moment.
Right.
So
it's your turn to fucking row, bitch.
Right. Hey, listen, you know, I've rowed good and long enough. You need to start pulling your own weight.
I've got to get the dog, and you've got to row.
Right, and so I'm literally standing there going, what the fuck am I going to do? So I fucking muscle my way up this shore while using my foot to hook the boat so that it doesn't drift off, because Lord knows this woman's not going to fucking touch an oar to save her life. Dog won't come to me.
Oh, damn it.
And I do this for like 10 minutes and I'm like, okay, honestly, at this point, I'm fucking done. I'm over it. This dog's going to get left behind. And so I turn and I say, look, if I can't get the dog, I don't know what to tell you. Right at that moment.
He belongs to the rock.
Right at that moment.
This is the mascot of the park.
Right at that moment, that dog got close enough and I just snatched him. I didn't even look. He was like, wow, grabbed him and fucking grabbed him by the scruff of his neck. And she just burst into tears and got back into the boat without falling in the water. Because that was the other thing I was worried about, right? If I fall in the water, this bitch ain't going to help me get it out. No. So I'm going to fucking swim across the lake while pulling that boat in the water while it's raining with the fucking dog. That was worst case scenario. So, but luckily I got in, we got back, and then she gave me $184, in which $6 of it was change.
Nice.
Right.
Fucking bitch. Change.
Yes. After all we did.
I was like, and I told her, I was like, you don't have to do this. She was like, no,
make
the
it
dog's
even 200.
She's like, I know you guys got pop machines and vending machines around the park. This is just
right. So, and I don't
even... But you go, next week, do you think come over and mow my yard?
I think
I paid you in advance.
Yeah. There's a whole 75 cents in it for you. It was
such a strong boy.
That's awesome.
It was a weird reward. Do you ever get rewarded for busting people?
Never.
No?
And that's one thing I think, I don't know if we said this before, and I wondered if there should be a percentage. If I stop somebody and I get a percentage of it.
Fuck yeah.
I think it should. And I think like there's no written rule of how many people you catch. So I would think that, like, say if you got past a certain amount of what was maybe possible protocol, once you hit that mark, anything past that mark that you caught, then you would get a percentage.
Fuck yeah. Is this a regular occurrence? You busting, like, when you go into work every day, do you bust someone?
I could, but I don't give a fuck every day.
It kind of averages out to that.
Yeah, really? It does.
Yeah, I remember sometimes we'd have more stops and there were months or more days more stops than days in the month. There we go. So, yeah.
This store that I work at, it's a pretty it's a shithole. And you could go.
Just don't hold back. Tell us how you really feel.
No, it really
it's a fucking shithole. The roof is falling down.
No. When I say shithole, it means a shithole for dirtbags to come steal. And it was so bad that the local police department actually reached out to the big box and told the big box, "Hey, this store on this side of town is so horrible. You need police officers here on a regular basis."
Southside.
Yep.
Yeah.
Southside.
So it was the Southside.
I'll tell you what.
They didn't want to spend the money. At one time they did have cops that stayed there, but there was too much money. They paid them like $30 an hour.
Fuck.
And for them, what they did compared to what they paid, there wasn't a good comeback. And so, what do you call it, kickback? So there was no real point. So they got rid of them. And then the police said, "Hey, what if we deputized your people and gave them citations, and they could give out citations to everybody they stopped?"
Fuck yeah.
And the company, Big Box, said, "Fuck no, there's too much liability with that, but that would have been perfect. I would have had a badge, I would have had a book, and these people would have fucking stopped it. It didn't come to fruition, but they thought there was too many liabilities."
But I would imagine on some level, at least for what limited knowledge I have of fucking insurance, I would imagine that being deputized would have minimized that liability.
I think if we was deputized and people knew that there was cops inside the store on a regular basis, theft would drop drastically.
Sure.
Because they know now that there's law inside.
So then maybe the real issue is that the store doesn't want to do that.
No, like there was a conspiracy. I think I told you about this, and my opinion is that Big Box wants a certain amount of loss. They want to say, "Hey, this store lost this amount, this store lost this amount, this store lost this amount," and I do believe that.
Sure, because
so much of a write-off.
Yeah. So listen to me. So my conspiracy is this: there was a couple years ago, the Big Box decided to shut down some of the Big Box stores. And so they had to get rid of everything. So there was a loss. And all of a sudden, all that loss started spreading out amongst the company. And I thought, because they shut down like 12 stores, okay? So they shut down 12 stores. Well, how do you get rid of first the product? How do you get that loss back? So they spread it out evenly amongst all the other stores so that all the other stores took that loss. Because if you look at the numbers and inventories, there ain't no way it could have happened that way without it being we took their loss. But yes, I believe in conspiracy theory, and yes, I think
yeah. No, well, I mean, my experience in retail, I knew I was close enough friends with a couple of the managers that I knew that certain displays that they put out, I mean, they built loss and shrink into their profit margin. So I knew that if they didn't reach that goal, then everything they got was just fucking pure profit.
Pure profit.
Sons of bitch. So that's why they don't want to deputize you.
Yep. But who knows?
And
I'm surprised they don't do some sort of bonus system with it, though, like how you're talking about making money off of it to incentivize.
I'll play the devil's advocate. So I catch a lot of people, but on the devil's advocate side of it, what if there was a guy that was an asshole that said, I got 1,500 stops, and then now you have to judge if did he really get 1,500 stops? Because I can go in a fucking phone book, get names, get addresses, and put them into the system. So are these legit stops? So people would start faking their stops.
Huh.
Just to get that bonus.
And then the worry then, I would imagine the worry then being you stopping somebody who's not actually stealing something but just maybe looks suspicious.
Yes, they would then get you to do a bad stop.
That's a good point.
You know.
Good call, Berg.
Yeah,
you're on top of this.
You see me walking in there with a trench
some good
coat.
ideas, man. I tell you,
you're going places, buddy.
Hey, thanks, guys. I sure
don't care what E-Money said about you. You're all right.
You're all right, man.
Well, you guys really know how to make a guy blush.
I'm sure that.
No, it's just really warm in here.
Oh yeah,
I'm sure that that's happened before. Like as far as a bad rogue asset protection secret shopper planted something to cover his ass.
Oh fuck yeah!
I'm sure.
Listen, if I was in asset protection and I saw somebody I didn't like, I'd be like, oh, you were trying to steal that feta cheese?
Bitch?
Guess what, motherfucker? I'm getting your ass. I'm nailing your ass, and you're not gonna be able to come to this store ever again for fucking feta cheese. I'd make it something ridiculous too. It wouldn't be something cool like a TV or a gaming system. No, it'd be like shredded fucking cheddar. Like
there was a time that we were working. I was working with Rock, who's not here tonight, but we this woman. So the rule is that if they go past the last point of sale, it's regardless of what their intent was, that action is the action of what's the word I'm thinking of? E-money, the action of concealment.
It's already there. The intent is already there.
I'm saying, like, say somebody forgot and they like say they got their hands full, so they throw something in their pocket real quick, not even thinking about it, and then they walk out that door with that merchandise. That's the act of criminal concealment, I think, is what it was called.
I don't know. You got me.
But here's a good example, right? So this lady got an enema for her daughter because she had a fever, so she's gonna take her home. She put it in the cart and then put her purse on top of it, and then they rang stuff out. Now this woman was shady in the first place. She kept messing with tags and stuff, but then went past the last point of sale, walked out the door. So we called it.
Good stop all day, every day.
Yeah. So that's a good stop right there. Now her argument was, how can you get me on this? I put my purse over it and I forgot about it, and we still stopped her on it. And that was kind of a iffy,
sure.
Like, I don't know. But
no, I think it was golden. I don't care. You forgot that it was in your cart, and I would still stopped it. It's a good stop to me.
And it's a fucking enema, man.
I think she was more embarrassed that she had to buy it. I think that's just one of those things.
And we knew it was just for her to take it home.
Right. And can we go back? Like, who the fuck gives their child with a fever a fucking enema? Like,
it was bizarre.
Listen, I'm not a fucking doctor, but I'm pretty sure.
It's not has nothing to do with her not being able to take a shit.
Right. I'm pretty sure that you don't give an enema for a fever. I mean, you might want to fucking WebMD shit.
It's 1920 when we're giving out heroin and we're giving out things to give to women because they have cramps.
Bloodletting.
So we decided that maybe if we just give you an enema, you won't have your period.
Well, I've done that a couple. Well, here's the thing.
You did an enema a couple times.
Got to get rid of the fever, right?
Yeah,
I'm burning up.
Oh no, I think I'm warm right now,
sweetie.
No, I mean, here's the thing. I don't want to justify her position, but I will say.
And yes, how long have you held that missionary position? Sorry, ladies, man.
Long time. But because I will say that I've put stuff on that bottom cart and then paid for it and then left it in the parking lot. I can't go back and be like, hey, big box store, I left this 12-pack of Diet Coke.
Happens every day, dude.
And I tell you what,
can you?
You can, but if you got me back there, I'm not giving it to you. As soon as you walk out your fucking door, there's people that do it.
Okay.
There's certain people that care about stuff like that. Just like if people go through the fucking self-checkout and then ask for cash back and then they never get their cash back. And then I'll be like, fucker, you went through checkout. That's on you.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I was going to say, too, I think the big thing, the reason we stopped her any other day, 9 times out of 10, we probably would have let her go, or we would have mentioned it to her and be like, hey, you need to pay for that. But since
Pay
she was
for that
shady,
enema.
Playing with, you going to pay for that enema, baby girl.
That's a good question right there.
Since she was shady,
Marshall.
yeah, we figured let her know.
How many times have you decided to do that while you was walking the floor? Like, I'm going to give that a break. That's only a couple dollars.
Like, depends on the scenario. Like, you're talking about somebody's got the act of concealment, or that they're just looking kind of shady, playing with tags.
Playing with tags.
Yeah, I think there's a couple times that, or like, I remember specifically there was like this group of teenagers and they were trying to like steal some over-the-counter drug test. So, like, so that just paints a whole story there. But they're
Fucking idiots.
So they're fucking with the box and stuff, trying to get it out. So I'm walking by them, and it's getting close to my time to get off. And I had plans, and I'm like, I want to get out of here on time. So you do little things to disguise yourself, make it look like you're a shopper. I'm pushing a cart. So I walk by them like 3 times. I'm like, okay, come on, get the hint.
You're giving them the chance not to do it.
Yes, exactly. And then I start rattling the cart, coughing. And then it scared her, so she ran out the door with the cup. And then so I had to go, and then her boyfriend stayed behind. And I said, okay, I need you to go get her. If she hasn't left yet, we can see about rectifying this. If not, I need you to go get her, and we're going to the back. And then so we went to the back and stuff. And later her dad called and said I was trying to cut a deal with him. I was like, I was trying to get out of there, you bastard. Like, I gave him fair warning.
See, that's the biggest thing, too. Like, this is off the subject, thinking about this when people call in. If they're 18 and their family calls in and wants to know the details, I'm sorry, your child is an adult.
Right, I tell them fuck off.
Fuck off.
Listen, you're grown up, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you're old enough to talk back, you're old enough to get hit in the throat.
That's awesome. I said, ask your child what happened. Thank you, and have a good day, and go fuck yourself.
But here's the thing. I deal with that in my profession all the time. I deal with, 18 to 25-year-olds, and I'll have mom and dad call and say, how's so-and-so doing? And I can't, federal law says, unless I have their authorization on file. And I've had people scream at me and call me all kinds of things because I literally am following the law.
Did you then eventually went to that child like, what the fuck's wrong with your parents?
No. No, actually, one time I did kind of joke around with this kid because it was clear.
Kill yourself, dude.
Thank God you got away from those fucking psychos. No, it was clear that he was embarrassed by his parents' actions, and right. I said, geez, who taught them to use the telephone?
That's awesome.
Because I was like, I just needed to break the tension, and so... But I deal with that kind of shit all the time. I get parents that how'd so and so do, and I'm like, sorry, I can't tell you. Or I when they do have authorization, and I do tell them, and then it's like, sorry, kid, you go with God now.
Right. To bring it back to, you were asking about, has anybody ever tried to pay for a stop and stuff? And I was talking about the kids too on that. I stopped these minors stealing alcohol, so we had to call the parents. Parents come out, sure. And it wasn't like they were mad or wanted to, do any sort of corrective action with this kid. They were just like, oh, Billy, he is special. I tell you, he's always acting up, stealing alcohol again. They're like, honestly, we should pay you for stopping him, and it really felt like we should pay you for doing the parenting that we haven't done.
Pay for the product or give you the money?
Do what?
Was they going to pay for the product or pay you?
They were like joking around like, we should give you a reward for having corrective action to our child or punitive action to our child, and it was like...
Listen to you using lingo. Punitive action, corrective action.
Have you ever had where a parent would call, you'd have somebody call you and say, hey, there's a parent here that wants you to talk to their child that just tried to steal.
Like a cashier manager?
Yep. And then they want to come up and talk to you. They want you to come up and talk to their child about theft. Like, no, I'm not going to do it. If I wasn't part of it, I'm not going to go up there and give a kid a life lesson about thieving. That you're going to go to jail and a cop or anything's going to come take you, because that's not my role. Tell your child how to not to fucking steal. I've had that many of times where I've got a call. Hey, can you come up here? This kid just walked out with some gum or a game, and the parent found it and wants you to come up here and talk to him.
I always wondered about, I would yell at the cashier managers. I had that happen. I can't remember. It might have been with you that happened, and the cashier manager called us up and said, "Can you come here?" And we came there. So then, so our cover's blown. You know, I always wondered if that was a front for the parent to find out who we are, so they could steal stuff. And then they'd be like, "Billy was bad. Can you pretend like you're going to take him to the police?" You know, be like, "No, hire a fucking birthday clown." Like, you know,
those are not my thumbs.
Yeah. Oh shit.
See, I think you guys are missing out on a golden opportunity, because I'd tell Billy, I'd be like, you steal, you go to jail, you get pounded in the ass. Do you like your asshole, Billy? Do you like being able to
just
fucking
go super dark, having nom flashbacks in front of the kid? You know?
Billy, do you know what it's like to have a dick shoved down your throat? Because when you steal this fucking bubble gum and you go to jail, that's what happens. Jail, you get raped, and just kind
of like that, Mom.
Right? Your mom's going, "Oh my god, what did I do?"
Never had anything crazy like that. But here's the scenario. Woman was in the store stealing a bunch of shit. She had her child with her. Child had been maybe 3-4 years old enough to understand, right? So caught the woman, brought him back, and this woman was indignant, didn't give a fuck, and this is back whenever I gave a fuck. Like, you gotta change your life and gotta do this. I can't believe you stole in front of your child. My child doesn't know what I done. That instantly pissed me off.
Oh.
I got down in the kid's face and said, "Your mom stole today. She's going to jail." This woman went the fuck off. My boss said, "What the fuck did you just do, E-Money?" She said, "Get the fuck out of this office." This woman said, I'm suing you. You can't talk to my kid that way." And so then I went into the office thinking, "Oh, fuck, I lost my job because I just told this 4 or 5-year-old that her mom stole." So we're waiting on the cops. She stole several $100s worth of shit. My boss was crying, trying to defuse the situation. And plus this is a woman. So she's crying. And so in the meantime, she's trying to turn this thing around. And the officer shows up. I tell the officer, "Hey, this is what happened." I would have told the kid the same fucking thing. So then my boss
justified.
Boss comes in, the cop says it, and we're both laughing about it. And, "What are you guys laughing about?" And then he said, "I would have said the same thing. That's pretty fucking awesome." And then the woman settled it down, gave the kid some candy, and then just processed her and got out of there. But
fuck that, man. That the kid, listen, I'm of the belief that kids gotta fucking experience life as quickly as possible. So,
so in your line of work, doesn't most children have their personality by the age of 5? Who they are, their makeup at 5 years old?
Would you be comfortable talking about your line, or what it is, or give a description?
Yeah, so I work at a university, so I teach...
Sorry, Berg.
No, you're fine. I teach older people, so by that point, they're fucking assholes, and they know they're assholes, and they're going to be assholes for the rest of their lives.
Can you change a person? Can a person be changed?
Yes, because here's the thing. Because I work at a university, a big part of what we do, whether directly or indirectly, it focuses on student development.
Okay.
Because realistically, they might be an adult legally by 18, but your personality, the kind of person you are, that's still in development. I mean, I can just look back at my own life. I don't know about you two, but I am not the same person now that I was at 18. Or even at 25, I
think I grew up at 27. Honestly, my life changed at 27 years old.
Yeah, I was probably late 20s before I feel like I really became an adult, that I really, became who I am.
And comfortable with who you was.
Yes. Yeah. So that's part of the difficulty of what we do. Because you're dealing with people that are just you're dealing with people that society is saying, "Hey, you're 18, you're an adult." So they're thinking, "Oh, I got to know what the fuck I'm doing." And really, they don't know what the fuck they're doing. And they're too afraid to fucking admit it. And so they do stupid shit. And so, yeah. So
So you believe in rehabilitation? You believe in second chances?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Because I was a second chance. So, I got kicked out of school. I was a straight A student, honor student in high school, gave a speech, which, by the way, I still have. I'll have to bring you over and
awesome.
Watch it.
Nice.
But here's the thing. I started college when I was 17. It was the first time in my life that nobody was telling me what to do, where the fuck to be. So, my spring quarter, we were on a quarter system. My spring quarter, I can show you this. I have the documentation to prove it. I got a 0.65 quarter GPA my spring quarter. You know why? Because all I did was get shit-faced, play Tony Hawk, and fucking not go to class.
Amazing.
And
in your defense, Tony Hawk, that was a badass game.
Right. I was like, who the fuck wasn't missing class to play that? But so I fucked around and then when they said, okay, this is your last chance, then I bucked up, got serious, and now I'm working on my doctorate. So I'm a huge believer in second chances.
Awesome.
But after that, that's the thing, second chance and that's it. So I'm also a believer in that third time, fuck off.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So 3 strikes, you're out.
Right, especially in your line of work.
Rule
it's
of
like
Berg.
right. In your line of work, hey, one time, all right, maybe you fucked up. Okay,
Yep.
I'll give you a second chance. That second time, though, no, you're done. You.
Yeah, but whenever you're calling somebody out by their name personally, and like, come on now, you're not supposed to be in here.
Right. Let me ask you a question, because I thought about this today as I was thinking about and getting excited about and really pumping myself up for this. What's the most mundane shit that somebody's tried to steal that you caught them with?
Like mundane, let my mind wrap around something stupid.
Yes, like yesterday I asked you like what was the craziest, and you talked about dildos and shit like that. But what is the most boring, like, fucking sour cream or some shit like that? Like what's the most mundane thing that somebody has stolen that you just go, what the fuck?
So I told this story in the most mundane, stupidest fucking shit in the whole world. So I used to travel to different stores and helped other teams catch people. Went into this huge super box, and you could get probably 50 stops. One person get 50 stops in a month.
Wow.
And continually, it was a college town. And so walking the floor. Hippie dude walks in, hair and dreads, torn up jeans, walks right to fabrics. Like just his look. You're not supposed to ever stereotype, but this person came off like, this motherfucker is going to steal. So you just go with it. So I went with it. He walks into fabrics, and he goes into fabrics, grabs a handful of beads, and he's already got this shit in his hair, because his hair's in dreads, and he got these beads in his hair. So he just grabs some fucking beads and puts it in his back pocket. So he puts them in his back pocket, but he's got a hole in his back pocket. So over half of them fall the fuck out. So,
what a dumb motherfucker.
Right? And here they all just pop, 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 pop. So I know he's got at least 10 of them in his fucking back pocket. So I'm thinking to myself, I'm trying to add the math up. Is this even worth my time?
Right.
So I'm following this guy. He ends up getting a grocery cart and going to grocery side, and is in the store for 3 more hours getting groceries. 3 hours. 3 hours.
Wow.
And so during this time, I tell other people I'm on this thing, and they say, no, stay on it, man. That's a stop. We need to stop. Just get these numbers up. You're here, so let's get a stop. Like, it's not even worth it. It's not even a couple dollars.
Right.
This motherfucker fucking beat. So he goes and pays for a couple $100 worth of groceries. I go to stop him at one of the doors. I got one of the other people, one of the floor walkers, to help me stop him. I didn't take nothing. I didn't do nothing. So then we bring him to the office, go into this office, bring him down, set him down. I was like, just empty out your pockets. I ain't got nothing in my pockets, man. I was like, you just went into fabric, grabbed it, put it in your back. I never even walked into fabrics. So we're going back and forth. He's not even wanting to admit nothing. Don't even want to say that he even walked in there, right? It's like, what the fuck do I do? So it's just me and him. My adrenaline's going with just me and him. So I went to go call the superintendent of this place. And as I did, there was a cop already in the office, sitting off to the side. And I'm like, this whole time I'm arguing with this guy and you're standing here? What the fuck? So I called the superintendent, tell superintendent, I don't know why I said superintendent, but superintendent shows up. Then the guy tells them, yeah, I went into fabrics, but I didn't do nothing. then all of a sudden he starts yelling with the superintendent. Then the cop decides to help. Cops helping. Man, you need to be quiet, man. You need to listen. And not one time did he ever empty out his pockets. Then he goes and says, I'm going to sue you. I'm going to sue you. And I'm going to sue you. The cop instantly goes, me? Why are you going to sue me? I didn't do nothing. The cop instantly backed the fuck away. Didn't want to be part of it. So then they let the guy fucking go.
Really? See, and that's...
Sorry, all of that like, details to just say, yeah, fucking beads from fabrics.
Beads. But, it brings up a good point. It's that people just, their automatic assumption is, I'm going to sue you. Like, motherfucker, you're stealing from this store. You can't afford a fucking lawyer.
Right? Good shit.
Marshall, what about you?
Yeah.
I was thinking probably the memory cards that we seen. This guy was super wealthy. He was pushing out like or not pushing out, but he just dropped like $1,000?
$1,000 on groceries and stuff.
And then he just stole memory cards, just put them in his pocket on that. I know
They were for his deer cams. He was a millionaire.
No
he admitted
shit.
He admitted, I'm a millionaire. I'll pay for all this. Let me get out of this. I'll pay for it for the cops not to come.
And he just said his wife was with him. She's like, "Why'd you do that?" He's like, I don't know. We had enough stuff in the cart, so I just threw them in my pocket.
Yeah, but, I feel like if I was a millionaire, I'd probably do that shit too.
Just steal,
be like,
get out.
Just be like, oh well, if I gotta pay for it, I gotta pay for it, But I don't know. It's weird. I used to steal shit all the time. I used to steal shit drunk. That was bad. Listen, let me tell you, this one time I was at this party, right? And my stealing had gotten out of hand. Yeah, and I went into this girl's room.
Panties.
And I stole all of her panties and wore them. She had a ball python, and I fucking...
Did you steal the snake?
So in my drunk ass state, I go, I'm gonna steal that snake. So I go in there, I fucking grab it, I pull it out of its cage. And she walks in and she goes, "What the fuck are you doing?" And I was just like drunk as shit and go, "Oh, you got a snake. I love snakes." And then I fucking sat there for an hour with her, playing with her fucking snake and talking about all snakes. And I just, at that point I go, okay, that in that hour I reassessed my life. And I said, you know what? You don't want to spend an hour talking about snakes. You should probably not steal anything anymore. And that's when I stopped.
I'm going to segue into my snake story. Sorry, not no overtopping, no nothing. So I'm in a big box store. We get a phone call saying there is a man in Derry with a fucking python. I will tell you right now, I'm scared to
get him to pull his pants up.
Dick is swaying.
Just a swaying.
No, do you want me to do something? No, I'm just calling to let you know.
You got a big dick, motherfucker.
Sir, you have a big dick. A python dick. Make it hiss.
So we get a phone call, Derry, python, upset customers, and I'm scared to death. Don't even want biggest fear, one of the biggest fears of my fucking life. I get up in this guy's face. Here's the snake in my face. I'm like, you gotta go. He goes, it's a therapy snake.
Oh, why?
The old therapy card.
The old therapy snake.
Right? Therapy. So I had to make the choice. There was more complaints than anything. Mm-hmm. So then the guy started mouthing and said, I can be in here with this fucking snake if I want to. So I said, you know what? You're leaving. You gotta go. There's more people upset about the snake. You gotta go. So we're walking. He's videotaping me.
Sure.
I'm scared of this motherfucker. This snake. The snake is just halfway.
The guy with the snake. I'm sure he's rational.
The snake's just halfway off his neck. I'm up as close as possible, acting like I don't give a fuck about this snake. Like I'm letting you know I'm a badass motherfucker, and you're gonna leave this. You're gonna leave the store. And then I end up on in this place. It was how some places got topics, got different subjects, and you can go into a website and you can hear stories and stuff.
Yeah.
This was called Butthurt. And so this is called Butthurt, the town Butthurt. It's called the name of it's town Butthurt. And then I'm on there with a picture and video of me on there with me saying I was bad, and it was a therapy snake. And then everybody said that guy's an asshole and I'm a piece of shit and therapy this. And then it said you're not allowed to snakes are not therapy, and there's a thin line of what's therapy and that's not therapy.
So you kind of went viral locally.
Locally, I did.
Wow, how was that? What kind of experience was that?
Just the associates of the store thought I was a hero. Nothing past that.
Did the guy have any documentation?
None.
I remember, but to get a backstory to that, in the training we were, or in the time that I was asset protection, there was explicit training that people can come in with whatever pet they want. You're not to ask them about the pet. You're not to touch the pet. And it's all goes back to because everybody's so sue happy anymore. Right. They can come in and say, "This is my therapy snake."
Snake. So what you're saying is I can roll up into this big box store with my 4 dogs and be like, therapy dogs.
Yes, 100%.
Yes.
Really?
And nobody can say shit.
I worked at a retail store.
As long as you don't put it in the cart.
This woman brought dogs all the time. It was like she knew this and stuff, and she She was like, "Oh, my therapy dogs. Yes, my therapy dog." Like always pointing them out. Yeah.
The therapy
They're little chihuahuas.
That was awesome.
And they would shit and piss all over the floor, and she'd just leave it, walk out of the store.
See, that's where
It
the
happened
fine line is.
every time. And the store manager said, "We can't do anything about it except clean it up." And I was like, "Well, we're not cleaning that. Enjoy cleaning up the dog shit."
It's interesting. That's interesting because when I was in a position at a university in North Dakota. And I had to work on
the pipeline,
our Python policy. You just can't whip your dick out anywhere. No,
strong policy.
It's very strong. No, we had to do the whole the whole therapy, and the emotional support animal policy, and there really wasn't a lot of guidance for us. And so we made the decision that you could only have dogs. You could only have dogs or cats. Mm-hmm. And then, of course, what happens? This fucking girl says, I need to bring my emotional support turtle.
What?
Wow.
And
we
said, nah.
I could see that blowing up. Just that could be a huge case eventually.
But you know what's funny about it is that the federal government keeps it so gray that
there's no line in there. There is no line. If you read it, there is no line.
Right. And so basically what our legal team told us was, because they kept it so gray that they could just tie it up in litigation. If that person ever did want to file a lawsuit, they could tie it up in litigation for so long that they would just run out of money, unless they were really wealthy. And I was like, oh, so basically we were able to, I don't want to say necessarily break the law, but we were able to establish rules that, protected us against these kinds of things. And they're, all based upon the idea that, oh, well, if it did go to litigation, we would just tie them up because it's so gray. I'm like, that's fucking wild, man.
Wow.
So, something to think about for your big box stores.
I think, it's amazing what legitimate therapy animals can do for people and stuff.
Absolutely.
When you look at it. And I've seen videos on that, and I've met people. Yeah. And it's fascinating, but there are so many assholes.
You
out
think
there
about that.
just
What
abusing.
kind of person? You said asshole, but it's a different level of person to say, you know what? I don't give a fuck what the big box. I don't give a fuck what anybody says or about any of the other customers that are in here. I'm walking in here with this fucking snake. I'm walking in here with this fucking turtle, and I'm just doing it. What kind of person is that mentally to think, I don't give a fuck? I'm going to get some milk and eggs, and I'm taking JoJo.
Emoney, are you working tomorrow?
Yeah, I am.
So here's what's going to happen.
Don't walk the fuck in.
I'm going to roll up into your box store on a fucking horse and tell you, I'm going to fucking make you kick me out. And I'm going to say,
I demand oats and grains.
It's a therapy horse.
Berg, you just killed a man.
Berg is going to be upon his steed, and that horse is going to shit. He's going to drop big horse nuggets, and then you're going to have to clean it up.
Show me to aisle 5.
Onward, yes, trusty steed, to the cereal aisle.
But I feel so emotionally better right now.
But I mean, there's got to be a line, right? I mean, like, realistically, what would the store manager say?
No fucking horses, no little miniature ponies, no moo cows, no.
Right, I mean, like, it's not like I can't fucking bring an alligator into a big box store and be like, oh, no, this is Al, and he's my emotional support animal. So
let's all take a second and think, what emotional support animal could fuck the most shit up that you would have to pick?
Fucking horse.
I was gonna say, I'm gonna go with viper, but you have to tape the mouth shut and you walk around with that. What you're going? Berg's going with horse. Emoney, what are you?
I'm not even involved in this. I called in sick that day.
Yeah.
Right? Because somebody's going to hear this and go, that's a fucking hilarious idea. Let's do that. Let's bring my fucking horse in there. Hell yeah.
Everybody's lined the fuck up. Everybody's lined the fuck up with their horses, and they're just all going to... The store manager said, okay, you can bring your horses in, but it's only on a certain day, and you're going to go this direction, and everybody's going to go, and it's all coned off, and you're able to go to this area, this area, this area with your horse. That's the only areas you can go with your horse.
Right.
So it's going to be a day. Bring your horse to Big Box Day.
But
the year is 2015. Big box stores have replaced the aisles with dirt to accommodate horses.
But here's the thing.
Everybody's just riding around horses now.
Dude, I live in a barn and I work in a barn.
I'm kind of that asshole that kind of wants to test that out. You know what I mean? I kind of thinking like, where could I go?
Call your lawyer right now.
Who do I know that has a horse?
You just pull
boundaries
this up.
are meant to be pushed.
You just pull
right.
Hey, you know what? Horse, that's an expensive animal. You start small, tarantula, you can get that $50, $60.
Right. Right, but I'm saying, and then, I mean, to me, there's got to be a line, right?
I'm sorry, I use this word.
Look, now
you're fucking stupid, Berg.
E-Money's all pissed off. He's thinking about it. He's like, God damn it, if I go to work tomorrow, there's a fucking horse there.
I'm seeing him mentally. I'm seeing a fucking horse.
If there's a fucking therapy horse, I'm done. I'm fucking done.
My one wish is that TheftMart is we're opening Pandora's box to
new ideas, to new beginnings.
Yeah, every time E-Money sees a horse now, he's like, God damn,
Berg.
podcast.
I just been Berged. I've been Berged.
Listen, here's the thing. I'm going to tell you guys right now, the only reason why anybody's going to listen to this podcast is because they're going to listen to how to fucking scam the big box stores. They're going to get new ideas.
We've thought about that.
That's
We've
what the whole thought about.
Yeah, no, because I'm always amazed at just the different ways that people find to scam these stores. And so I always think about like in terms of podcasts, like so in my own research, right? So one of the things that I had to address was
Shetland ponies.
Was fucking riding horses into fucking stores.
I diverse.
No, but I had to think about the fact that, my research is sort of a how-to guide on how to do something that is not unethical or it's not illegal, but it's not something
that's a borderline, Berg.
Yeah.
That's borderline, Berg.
Right.
Unethical.
It's not unethical. It's not illegal, but it's something that you don't want to do.
So you talked about change, and people can change.
Changes. Didn't he die?
Real quick, internet challenge, the Berg. Take a picture of your therapy horse at a big box store. Send it in.
Send it in. 2019's Year of the Horse.
We'll give you a gold star.
Listen.
Hashtag Berg. Doing the Berg.
Year of the therapy animal.
Listen, this is how you fucking grow the podcast. You get this shit out, and then somebody's going to hear it and go,
we're sending this shit to bull riders. We're sending this shit to the
whatever horse magazines.
Rodeos.
Yeah, all of them.
All the top official horse magazines. Every last one.
Every last one. The top echelon of any horse fucking magazine. I don't even know one, but it's going there.
I thought for a second there you did, and I was going to be like, oh, fuck, that's really fucking impressive. I wonder if this guy really likes horses.
No. I've seen a few porns. I'm not going to admit that. No.
Bestiality. Okay. We made that turn. All right.
No, I don't want to go there. Sorry, I opened the door.
Berg, you have kind of, I don't mean to cut you off, E-Money, because I know you're about on a point. You were on a I promise you we'll come back to it.
I won't even remember it.
I know this about Berg if he'd like to relinquish this information.
What?
I fucked a horse once, okay? I was drunk, all right?
I was in the park.
How do you think he was keeping the park, right?
Chuck and his wife was there.
Right. Listen, when I say a Dodge, that's not a Dodge truck. That's the name of the horse.
Me and Dodge go way back.
Me and Dodge. It was a dark and lonely night. Sorry, go ahead.
You have a story about Tijuana.
Oh, yeah.
Right? No.
Yeah, oh, yeah. Fuck yeah. Look, listen,
this is about asset protection in Tijuana.
Right.
Yeah.
Listen, there's no such thing as no with me. I live these things so I can tell people about them. Yeah.
I'm an educational man.
Right. I saw a donkey show in Tijuana.
So how do you get involved with that? Let's break that down. You start the story. I know you're getting ready to go in there, but I need you to break it down. How the fuck does this even happen? How do you do you want to see a donkey show?
Well,
go, Berg.
So have you ever been to Tijuana?
No.
Okay, so you go down this main street, right? And you've got people on all sides there, and they're just hammering you with, hey, you want to do this, you want to do this, come do this, come see this, come do this. So we got asked to see, a strip club, and I like to frequent such establishments because I like titties. And I like titties in my face.
This is a shout out to titties.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, this is a shout out to titties. So we go into this place, and it's a strip club, just your standard Tijuana strip club.
Hayes over here, straws over there.
Yeah, it's over there.
Some oats over here.
Fucking braying in the background. No,
sorry,
this was bring your python tonight. Your therapy python night.
And then they tried to kick me out, and I said, excuse me, but I have my paperwork, and you can't do that.
This is my paperwork? This is my therapy? Sorry.
So,
sorry.
So it's your standard strip club, and, and with the one exception that the thing that really stands out is that the women were using, you remember Suave shampoo? Like the cheap shampoo.
It's still out there in the big boxes.
It's still there.
It's 78 cents.
Yeah, exactly. So they have a strawberry scent, and I remember that these women were taking Suave and rubbing it on their chest to mask the smell of the sweat and whatever else that they were trying to mask, which was not very enjoyable. So we're sitting there, and so I'm sitting back, right? Because I'm a wise man. Okay. So I'm like, I'm not spending my money on this. And so me and my buddy are sitting there, and presumably the owner of the strip club, I don't know, he comes and starts talking to us. Well, I don't have a problem talking to anybody in this world. So we're laughing, we're joking, and whatnot. He goes, hey, you guys want to see something really cool? And isn't that how it always
cool?
starts? Yeah. Cool. Fuck yeah. Sign me up. So he's like, I was like, sure, why not? And so we, get the rest of the guys. There was about 5 or 6 of us. So it felt, strength in numbers, and this was before all the, the cartels actually, they were there. We just didn't know about it kind of thing. Now thinking back, I go, Jesus, this guy said, I want to see something cool. And I go, yeah, like a kid in a fucking, stranger.
Do I, mister?
Right. Hey, little guy, you want some candy? Sure.
I'm just imagining this guy, he lives this whole life, this strip club owner who's like, hey, want to see something cool?
He wants to see,
who preferences?
Right. That's all he needed to say to old Berg. You want to see something cool? So he said, yeah. So we go out the back door, we go down this little hallway. It was like an outdoor hall. And we go into this other building, and he goes, hang tight. And there's a bunch of other guys there. There's a bunch of other people. And I will say there were other Americans there. And he goes, hang tight. He's like, the show will start soon. So I'm like, okay. And so, we're just sitting there bullshitting, and this lady comes by. Oh, you guys want beer? And, okay, sure. So we get some beer and whatnot. And then the show starts, and yeah, no, it's like a strip show, And so the woman comes out, and she's stripping and dancing and everything. And I'm like, did we just leave one strip club for another strip club? Like, is this the cool strip club? Like, because at that point I don't really know what I'm on, what's going on. And then after 2 or 3 songs, they bring out the donkey. And here's the thing about it. So, because I got to relive this. It's not.
You got to find the right things. I went up to the stage. I'm not going to lie.
Right. I went up to the stage and I bent over and I said, "Eonk." No, it's not. So
is that you, Pooh Bear?
Oh boy. So when you say donkey show, right, you immediately, it conjures to mind a certain methodology for how that would work, right?
Right.
So sure. If you had said donkey show, I'm thinking, oh, a woman bent over and the donkey,
fucking it.
Yeah. No. So what happened was 4 guys come out and they lay the donkey down, and then they tie its legs, and then they flip it up so it's on its back, and then this one guy, which I don't know how he got this job, but he starts jerking the donkey off to get it hard.
Oh, man.
And then the woman goes and sits on the donkey and rides the donkey. And throughout the whole thing, my first reaction is, what the fuck is this guy's definition of cool?
So many questions.
Hold on.
Good point with the, how did this guy get that job?
Right. How did he, yeah.
Like, why don't they just have the lady do that? Like, what is this guy? Like, why is he
Listen, this is years of therapy.
Fluffer?
This is years of therapy that I've had to think about.
I was going to say real quick, guys, that sounds pretty emotionally distressing, and I just think that it's hard for you to be in a crowded environment, maybe shopping or in a store. I want you to take a horse with you whenever you go out, okay?
I honestly believe, my mind tells me this. Each donkey comes from a farmer, okay? That farmer is responsible for that fucking donkey.
Breaking it down.
So then, therefore, if you're bringing the donkey to the show, you know what this donkey, if it's going to buck, if it's what it's going to do. So now you're in charge of getting this donkey's dick up.
Maybe, but do
you think that the farmer gets paid less? Like if the
donkey don't perform?
They put the donkey out. Like,
so when does the show end if you can't get the donkey up?
Here's the thing. I would imagine.
Why are we evaluating a fucking donkey?
Listen, I've asked
this
myself
is a show about secret shoppers.
Yes.
Anyways, continue on.
This is the future, buddy.
This is honestly the only thing that I could think about through the whole thing was I felt really bad for the donkey, and I've since thought about this. That donkey, they must have given it some drugs. They had to have fucking smoked it out with meth or something, because it didn't do shit. It just laid there, and it's got to be uncomfortable for an animal that size to be on its back.
Berg, I want to ask you a question. in the
Tread
future,
lightly.
in the future, are you going to be like seeking political status? Are you going to try to become a governor? Because this shit right here.
No,
shit right here.
That's a very good question, and I'll tell you what. I've thought about it, and if I ever do, I would talk about this stuff. I would out myself before I did, because here's the thing: does anybody buy those fake apologies, or
No.
I didn't inhale bullshit? I mean, the reality is this. What we really want is somebody, as a politician, to be real with us, to tell us, hey, like if a politician said, hey, you know what, I'm going to vote the way I want and I don't give a fuck what you think, I would respect him more,
right.
I would respect him more. And so like if there was somebody who said, yeah, when I was 18, I went to a fucking donkey show in Tijuana. I didn't like it, but I saw it and it happened and I can't take that back.
Kudos, sir.
I'd be like, you know what?
Build the wall, Berg. Build the wall.
Right. I'd be like, you know what? I don't like your policies, but I got to be honest. I'm going to vote for you because at least you're going to keep it real with me.
Gotcha.
So yeah, no, I'm okay with that. So
What's your stance on therapy animals?
Oh, Marshall, you got me on that one. That's good shit.
I don't know, but rehashing all this, I got to be honest with you. I'm gonna have to go find a horse tomorrow and
ride him
and ride him through a big box store.
Holy fuck!
I feel really bad, Emoney. You had a point.
There was a point to this.
I should have known better and opened that can of worms. I apologize, guys.
No, somebody just was entertained. Are you not entertained? Or not?
Right. I mean, what's going to be funny is somebody's going to listen to this thinking, yeah, they're going to tell me how to fucking scam a big box store, and then they're going to be like sitting there going, a donkey show? What the fuck is this?
And then they'll go, but it's not really what you think it is.
Right.
I learned a lot.
Really, yeah, exactly.
I feel bad for the donkey.
So from that moment on, from the age 18, seeing the donkey show, you got into asset protection to protect the assets. Right?
Oh, but here's how I'll make the connection back to asset protection. So Tijuana, here's what's great about Tijuana.
The clothing.
Yeah, no, everything is negotiable there. I mean, haggling is an acceptable form of payment, and it's one of those things where you're kind of nervous at first when you do it, and then you get fucked, and then you just you get better at it and you do it, and then you start getting really good deals. And then the worst part is coming back to the States and having to go into a big box store and go, oh, I really have to pay $5.99 for this? I can't haggle?
Right?
And I really do think retail I think they could increase their sales for all those fledgling, big box retailers that are struggling right now. They could bring people to their doors if they start saying, you know what, let's haggle.
I would love that as a concept, just to see one big box store, or not like a big box store, but like a small retailer go, hey, we're going to be different. We're going to allow haggling. We're going to change the world up.
So I used to be a sales manager at something that was called Best Buy, maybe. And so...
was it called Best Buy or was it Best Buy?
There was some good buys there.
Oh, okay.
And sometimes I got the best buy ever.
Gotcha, okay.
So
I like what you did there, Emoney.
Yeah, and so so it cost me $15 to buy this thing.
Sure.
But I'm selling it to you for $50.
Right.
So I knew as long as I made more than $15, I was all right with that. So even in that retailer, I could go down to that price. I automatically knew on all my items I could go to that. So as long as I made a profit, I'm golden. So I agree with you. If you know that there's a certain price on something, everything's at a cost. So
sure.
There should be some things that are off limits. I like your idea. That's a good thought.
But it's like you
but
and
we're
I,
not a democracy though.
Right. Well, but you and I talked about this yesterday about a certain big box retailer that looks to be on its last legs, and
right.
the issue being that they're selling shirts for $68 that I can wait 2 months and then get it in clearance for 70-80% off, and it's like if you had just started out with that price.
You would sell them off the shelf all day,
right.
every day.
Yeah,
actually, I've seen studies on this, and I've listened to
podcasts.
Yeah, podcasts. No, just like sound bites where people like executives in retail and stuff have talked about that if they can sell 1 to like 5, let's say you've got a shirt and the shirt's marked up to like $80 and it costs them like $5 to make the shirt, right? So we think a reasonable price would be like 30% markup or something like that, and it's way higher than that. But their explanation to that is if they can sell 1 to 2 of those shirts at that price, because they've made more profit on that. That's covered everything else than
That's what he was talking about
than
earlier.
anywhere
The
else.
people that he worked for, that one retailer, where they knew that they had a set amount, that once they made that, they didn't care if they lost, if it was walked out the door,
Sure.
didn't if it was damaged. They knew automatically they made all their money they needed to make just for that set.
Sure, but you know those kind of studies and stuff. I mean, that's supply and demand. But we also live in I feel like we live in a different time. You know what I mean? Where,
Oh yeah,
like
I agree.
That
with
level of thinking was probably they're spot on.
brick and mortar. That was the business model for brick and mortar. And
Right.
now they need to move on to something else.
But the idea, I mean, now that we have Amazon and we have online,
They
Retail.
are the gods.
right? Because they're if it costs $5 to make, they're selling it for $7, and they're just going to sell a shit ton of it. And look what's happened now. They're putting out volume.
You don't need that middleman no more.
Right.
You don't need it.
Right.
So all those costs are cutting almost in half.
So
well, guys, not to cut off this train of thought because this is great, but we are past time on it. I was going to run through see about closing thoughts. Everybody.
No, like Berg, you're amazing. Good shit. Good stories. Hope to have you back on again soon.
yeah, because we didn't even get to talk about your day,
Right? My day.
and I just remembered.
I just want to tell everybody, somebody died today.
Stay tuned the next time.
On the next episode.
No, good
Berg,
times. No.
Yeah.
Closing thoughts, sir.
Thanks for having me. I'd love to do this again. And hey, keep working on that intro. You'll get it there, big guy.
Thanks, guys.
I remember the first time I did an intro.
I've been very anxious today, and
Really?
I've been thinking about, maybe getting a pet, like a Shetland pony, or something, be next to me while I read the intro.
Do you need to go shopping tomorrow?
I do.
Berg's gonna make a shirt that has a fucking horse on it. My therapy pet.
Hashtag Berg Challenge. Take a picture of your Clydesdale at a big box store.
Right.
You get a free smile.
Yes. We'll hook you up with some swag.
What'd you think, Marshall?
This was awesome. This was a great show. Thanks for coming out, Berg. Really appreciate your input. Please do come back. We'd love to have you. And
well, I'm free next week.
Hey, Bubba, you're invited any day of the week to me.
Yeah. Thank you, guys. Thank you for listening. Please like, share, subscribe, whatever you can do to support the platform, support the show. Thank you, Berg, for coming out, and we will catch you guys next time. Thanks.